Hey, what's going on? You look pretty good. New year, new you. What do you think of that? All right, carrying on. The biology of belief, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and we're in the section buying the farm, but not as in moo moo farm, as in big pharma. Okay, so using prescription drugs to silence body symptoms enable us to ignore personal involvement we may have with the onset of those symptoms. The overuse of prescription drugs provides a vacation from personal responsibility. How very true. Our drug mania reminds me of a job at an auto dealership I held while in graduate school. At 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, an irate woman came into the shop. Her car's service engine light was flashing even though her car had already been repaired for the same problem several times. At 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, who wants to work on a bulky problem and deal with a furious customer? Everyone was quiet except for one mechanic who said, "I'll take care of it." He drove the car back into the bay, got in behind the dashboard, removed the bulb from the signal light, and threw it away. Then he then he opened a can of soda and lit a cigarette. After a suitable time, during which the customer thought he was actually fixing the car, the mechanic returned and told the woman her car was ready. Thrilled to see that the warning light had stopped flashing, she happily drove off into the sunset. Though the cause of the problem was still present, the symptom was gone. Similarly, pharmaceutical drugs suppress the body's symptoms, but most never address the cause of the problem. I'm just going to leave it at that. Wait, you say times have changed. We are now more educated to dangers of drugs and more open to alternative therapies. It is true that because half of the Americans visit complementary health practitioners, traditional doctors can no longer put their heads in the sand and hope other approaches go away. A few insurance companies have even started to pay for services they once deemed quackery, and major teaching hospitals allow a limited number of such practitioners inside. But even today, very little scientific rigor has been marshaled to assess the effectiveness of complementary medicine. The National Institute of Health did create an alternative medicine branch thanks to pressure from the public, but in my opinion, that is only a token gesture to quell activists and consumers who spend lots of money on alternative health care. There are no serious research funds available for studying energy medicine. The rub is that without supportive research, energy based healing modalities are officially labeled unscientific. Good vibes, bad vibes, and the language of energy. Those conventional medicine, Though conventional medicine still has not focused on the role energy plays as information in biological systems, ironically, it has embraced non invasive scanning technologies which read such energy fields. Quantum physics ha- Quantum physicists have created energy scanning devices that can analyze the frequency emitted by specific chemicals. These scanning systems enable scientists to identify the molecular composition of materials and objectives. Phy- Physicists have adapted these devices to read the energy spectra emitted by our body tissues and organs. Because energy fields travel easily through the physical body, these modern devices, such as CAT scans, MRIs, and position emission tomography scans, can detect disease non invasively. Physicians are able to diagnose internal problems by differentiating the spectral energy character of healthy and diseased tissue in the scanned images. Wow. The energy scan illustrated on page 102 reveals the presence of breast cancer. The diseased tissue emits its own unique energy signature, which differs from the energy emitted by surrounding healthy cells. The energy signatures that pass through our bodies travel through space as invisible waves that resemble ripples on a pond. If you drop a pebble into a pond, the energy carried in the falling pebble, due to the force of gravity pulling on its mass, is transmitted to the water. The ripples generated by the pebble are actually energy waves passing through the water. If more than one pebble is thrown into the water at the same time, the spreading ripples, energy waves, from each source can interfere with each other, forming composite waves where two or more ripples converge. That interference can be either constructive, energy amplifying, or destructive, energy deflating. So there's a picture. I think it might be the black dot, but I don't know. And then there's the ripple. Dropping two pebbles of the same size from the same height at exactly the same time coordinates the wave action of their ripples. The ripples from each pebble converge on each other. Where the ripples overlap, the combined power of the interacting waves is doubled, a phenomenon referred to as constructive interference or harmonic resonance. When the dropping of the pebbles is not coordinated, their energy waves are out of sync. As one wave is going up, the other is going down. At the point of convergence, these out-of-sync energy waves cancel each other. Instead of a doubling of the energy where the ripples interfere with each other, the water is calm. There is no energy wave. This phenomenon of canceling energy waves is called destructive interference. And then here's a picture. Give me a minute to look at that. Would you just look at it? Anyways. The behavior of energy waves is important for biomedicine because vibrational frequencies can alter the physical and chemical properties of an atom as surely as physical signals like histamine and estrogen. Because atoms are in constant motion, which you can measure by their vibration, they create wave patterns similar to expanding ripples from the thrown pebbles we talked about. Each atom is unique because the distribution of its negative and positive charges, coupled with its spin rate, generates a specific vibration or frequency pattern. Scientists have devised a way to stop an atom dead in its tracks by exploiting its energy waves. They first identify the frequency of a specific atom and then tune a laser to emit the same frequency. Though the atom and the photoelectric frequency emit the same wave pattern, the laser's waves are designed to be out of sync with those of the atom. When the light wave interacts with the atom's wave, the resulting destructive interference cancels the atom's vibrations and it stops spinning. Whoa, that's crazy. To increase an atom's vibration, rather than stop its movement, researchers select light waves with vibrations that are harmonically resonant and in phase with those of the atom. The vibrations can be of electromagnetic or acoustic origin. When, for example, a skilled vocalist like Ella Fitzgerald maintains a note that is harmonically resonant with the atoms of a crystal goblet, the goblet's atoms absorb her sound waves. Through the mechanics of constructive interference, the added energy of resonant sound waves causes the goblet's atoms to vibrate faster. Eventually, the atoms absorb so much energy that they vibrate fast enough to break free from the bonds that hold them together. When that happens, the goblet actually explodes. Doctors, and I've seen that video. I'm sure a lot of you have too. Doctors use constructive interference mechanics to treat kidney stones, a rare case where the laws of quantum physics have been harnessed as a therapeutic tool in modern medicine. Kidney stones are crystals whose atoms vibrate at specific frequencies. Doctors non-invasively focus a harmonic frequency on the kidney stone. Constructive interference results when the focused energy waves interact with the atoms in the kidney stones. Like the atoms in the crystal goblet examples above, the atoms of the kidney stone vibrate so quickly that the stones explode and dissolve. The small fragments can be easily passed from the system without the excruciating pain that accompanies large, unexploded stones. The science of physics implies that the same harmonic resonance mechanism by which sound waves destroy a goblet or a kidney stone can enable similar energy harmonics to influence the functions of our body's chemistry. But biologists have not explored these mechanisms with the passion with which they pursue new drugs. That is unfortunate because there is enough scientific evidence to suspect that we can tailor a waveform as a therapeutic agent in much the same way we now modulate chemical structures with drugs. Time for change. There was a time in medicine when electrotherapy was used extensively. At the end of the 19th century, the development of batteries and other devices that produced electromagnetic fields led to hastily constructed machines that were supposed to cure disease. The public sought out practitioners of this newfangled healing art called radiesthesia. Word spread that the devices were very effective. In fact, they became so popular that magazines were likely to toot ads that read something like, "Via radiesthesias, only $9.99 includes instructions." By 1894, over 10,000 U.S. physicians, as well as An untold number of self-trained home consumers were regularly using electrotherapy. In 1895, D.D. Palmer created the science of chiropractic. Palmer recognized that the flow of energy through the nervous system is critical to health. He focused on the mechanics of the vertebrae column, the conduit through which spinal nerves provide information to the body. He developed skills to assess and tune the flow of information by adjusting the backbone's tensions and pressures. the, the medical profession became threatened by Palmer's chiropractors, as well as homeopathic healers, radiesthesists, and other drugless practitioners who were taking away much of their business. The Carnegie Foundation published the Flexner Report in 1910 that called for all medical practices to be based on proven science. Because physicists had not yet discovered the quantum universe, energy medicine was incomprehensible to science. Denounced by the American Medical Association, chiropractic and other energy-based modalities fell into disrepute. Terrible, I tell you. Radiesthesias disappeared completely. In the last 40 years, chiropractic has made great inroads in the healing arts. In 1990, chiropractors won the lengthy court battle against the medical monopoly when the American Medical Association was found guilty of illegal attempts to destroy the profession. Oh my God. What the hell, man? That kind of pisses me off. That pisses me off because there's a group of people out there that are trying to do good to the human, for the human race, and they just smash it for no friggin' reason. And that makes me mad. That's just like pharmaceutical companies not adopting to energy healing. Like, come on, man. Get with the times. Why are you trying to keep, pardon my language, but F money, man. Who cares about the money? Care about the people. Right? Aish. You heal the people, you can work on something else. Mon Dieu. I tell you. It makes me mad. Since then, chiropractic has spread its sphere of influence. It is even accepted in some hospitals. And despite electrotherapy's checkered past, neuroscientists are conducting exciting new research in the area of vibrational energy therapies. The brain has long been recognized to be an electrical organ, which is why electric shock therapy has historically been used to treat depression. But scientists are now working on less invasive tools to treat the electric brain. A recent article in Science touted the beneficial effects of transcranial magnetic stimulation, which stimulates the brain with magnetic fields, is an updated version of the same 19th century radiesthesia healing techniques that were once denounced by conventional medicine. New studies suggest that TMS can be a powerful therapeutic tool. If used properly, it can ease depression and alter cognition. Fantastic. That's fantastic. It is clear that we need interdisciplinary research in this promising and understudied area, research that encompasses quantum physics, electrical engineering, and chemistry, as well as biology. Such research will be particularly welcome because it is likely to result in therapies with far fewer side effects than drugs. But the research will only confirm what scientists and non-scientists already know, but may not realize they know. All organisms, including humans, communicate and read their environment by evaluating energy fields. Because humans are so dependent on spoken and written language, we have neglected our energy-sensing communication system. As with any biological function, a lack of use leads to atrophy. Interestingly, Aborigines still utilize this hypersensory capacity in their daily lives. For them, there has been no sensory atrophy. For example, Australian Aborigines can sense water buried deep beneath the sand, and Amazonian shamans communicate with the energies of their medicinal plants. You no doubt, on occasion, get a glimmer of your ancient sensing mechanism. Have you ever walked down a dark street at night and instantly felt drained of energy? What were you experiencing? Destructive interference, just like out-of-sync pebbles thrown into a pond, or in popular jargon, bad vibes. Remember unexpectedly meeting that special someone in your life and becoming so energized you felt high? You were experiencing constructive interference or good vibes. When I gave up my view that we are inert matter, I realized not only that the science of my chosen career was out of date, but also that I needed to promote more constructive interference in my own life. I needed a personal quantum physics inspired tune-up. Rather than focusing on creating harmonic energies in my life, I was going through life willy-nilly, mindlessly expending energy. That is the equivalent of heating a house in the dead of winter while leaving the doors and windows open. I started closing those doors and windows by carefully examining where I was wasting my energy. It was easy for me to close some of them. For example, it was easy to get rid of the energy-draining activities like those deadly faculty parties. It was harder to get rid of the energy-draining defeatist thinking in which I habitually engaged. Thoughts consume energy as surely as does marathon running, as well as we'll see in the next chapter. I needed a quantum tune-up, and so I've made clear does biomedicine. What? And so I've made clear does biomedicine. But as I said earlier, we are already in the midst of a very slow shift in medicine, propelled by consumers who are seeking out complementary medicine practitioners in record numbers. It's been a long time coming, but the quantum biological revolution is nigh. The medical establishment will eventually be dragged, half kicking and screaming, full force into the quantum revolution. The quantum biological revolution that I said was nigh a decade ago is in full swing. And as I explained in the prologue, I've made lots of progress on my personal quantum tune-up as well. New research on various biophysical fronts has convinced an increasing number of biologists that there is quantum magic behind cell signaling, protein behavior, and even the origins of life. Specifically, recent studies of protein behavior point to the influence of a variety of quantum mechanisms that shape biological behavior, including energy entanglement, wherein one energy source couples and influences another energy source, tunneling, wherein particles pass through physical barriers, and superposition, wherein particles simultaneously experience all possible pathways and then choose the most effective one on which to travel. These particles are effectively in many places at the same time. The scientists studying the intersection of these counterintuitive weird phenomena in biology have created a quantum beachhead on territory once solely owned by classical Newtonian biologists. That beachhead includes the European Science Foundation, which in 2011 established FarQuest, an initiative exclusively devoted to creating collaborative efforts for assessing the role of quantum information, especially in biological systems. And the inherent significance of new quantum biophysics led DARPA, the U.S. Defense Research Agency, to create a nationwide quantum biology network in 2010 to explore this burgeoning area of research. Very interesting. Where are we at? 18? I'll read one more page. The expanding network is producing compelling research that challenges facts that biologists like me memorized in school. For example, the fact that signals controlling cell behavior and genetics are carried only in substance of chemistry, such as hormones, drugs, atoms, and ions. That notion was upended by experiments reported by Chaban in 2013 that revealed that nerve cells outside physical barriers influence the activity of nerve cells within sealed chambers. When healthy nerve cells surround the barrier, the encapsulated nerve cells express a normal calcium signal process, but when cancerous or dying cells surround the physical barrier, enclosed nerve cells process calcium signals in a completely different manner. Because the barrier prevents physical signals from influencing cell behavior, the nerve cells must be communicating with one another across the barrier using a non-physical energetic signaling mechanisms. It's like putting a moldy orange on top of a group of non-moldy oranges and it just spreads. That's freaking wild. Whoa. Mind blown. Researchers are also discovering non-orthodox communication channels in the plant world. Plant ecologists have long known that neighboring species, when planted in close proximity, have a positive or negative impact on one another through competitive or cooperative interactions. Neighboring plants can influence a seed's germination, timing, and its eventual success. A seedling's ability to engage with its neighbor is advantageous because it enables the plant to regulate its genetics and behaviors to best adapt to the surrounding environment. A number of studies have established that this communication among plants exists through 3 channels: light, physical touch, and chemicals. But the newest research has concluded that plant communication is mediated by some non-conventional and non-physical energetic method as well. For example, in a recent study, Australian researchers, taking their cue from gardeners who believe that planting basil near chili seeds ensures that they'll have lots of spicy food, divided 3,600 chili seeds into 3 groups, studied each group's germination rates, and then repeated the experiment with 3,600 chili plants they used as a control group. The results of the experiments corroborated gardening folk wisdom. The presence of basil enhanced germination rates of the seeds, but the most interesting result was that the enhancement occurred even when the 3 signals long studied by scientists, light, chemicals, and physical touch, were blocked. Wow. I'm going to end that there. That's wild. Holy cow. The more you learn, the more you realize you don't know very much. Wow. There's so much to us. There's so much complexity. There's so much unknown about us, about the world, about space, about energy, about everything. There's so much unknown. Wow. What a time. What a time to be alive. What a time to be here and now. And the unfortunate thing is that depending on who our parents are or who we surround ourselves with, we either create a living hell for ourselves or we create a heaven for ourselves. But you know what? It doesn't matter who you surround yourself with. You can always change. You are never stuck. You can get better. You can improve. You can change your life. You can change your surroundings. You can do absolutely anything you want to do. You just have to break the self-limiting beliefs barrier in your brain. Open your mind to new possibilities, new experiences, new situations, and new things, period. New, all new. It's wild. But anyways, with that being said, thank you very much for tuning in to the second podcast episode of the new year, 2025. I appreciate every single one of you that tune in, and I'm going to ask for a little bit of help to get me to become a Spotify partner. So if you could please like, share, follow, do what you can do, click a few buttons. You don't have to watch all the episodes. That's fine. I don't care. Might be beneficial if you do. I don't know what the value, I'm just yammering on about a book that has wonderful information in it, and I'm sharing it along. Anyways, have a great day, everyone, and I'll catch you at the next one.